Hello guys, welcome to this new lecture about sales workflow, revenue and credit notes and collections. The customer invoices, it's the same screens and information and the same method to work of the vendor bids. But in this case, the idea we are the ones who created the invoices. Let's continue guys. So if we go to accounting and from there to customer and click in invoicing, accounting, customers, invoices, and click in new, we see the invoice screen like the same as the bill screen. You can add here the customer name and the invoice reference, and also the invoice date and the due date and the journal. For example, sales. So we add a customer here. For example, Great Wall, Alexander the Great, and the invoice date 24, due date 24, sales. Also, if we see here in the other info, what we can input here, the customer reference of buying order or any other reference linked to the customer. So for example, we put this reference, and here the salesperson who create the invoice. Here we put our banking account to the customer to send to us the amount of invoice in banking transfer. Here the payment reference. You can add here the order number and the delivery date of the invoice 24. More also, click here in save and go back here now journals. Go to invoice and click in other line. In addition invoice line, we can add a product. For example, create this product fixing the machines. And click in create and edit. For example, it's a good. And we sell this product not purchasing. And here we add the selling price. For example, $100,000 Algerian dinars, and the cost, for example, 30,000. And here we can add the internal reference. You can put any reference you want. And here the barcode if you want to add a barcode to the invoice. And here we can add the category of the product, expenses or goods or services. We will choose goods and click in save. Moreover, if we see here in accounting, click here, go here, we will see the income account and the expenses account for this product. So now go back to the invoice here. Also, if you want, you can add a description in the product name. If you click in this icon here and put any description you want. For example, fixing to the main company, the main customer company. And here we can change the price if we want, and click here save. So after that guys, we will go for example here to journal items. We will see here two accounts. One is sales of merchandise and the other is customers, not receivable. So if we see here this is not the suitable account for this invoice. To get this entry right, we can change this if we go here to this arrow in the customer and click here and go to accounting, and here in account receivable we see the same account. We can change it from here, and the suitable account for this is here, this clients, and click here save. Now go back to the invoice here and click info and click confirm. Here the system will post the income from this operation. So if we go here to reporting and open the balance sheet of the trial balance. Here, reporting, and you can choose trial balance of general ledgers. For example, general ledger. We can see here the amount of the new invoice, 100,000 for the clients. And that's right, if we go here, it's clients. Moreover, if we see here in profits and loss, we will see the revenue, sales and related products in this account with the same amount like the clients. And if we click here, we will see the details, invoice. It's the invoice of Alexander the Great customer. So now we will go back to the invoice here and click in print. Here we have this configuration to our invoice shape and other configuration. So if you click here in box it, you can see here the shape of the invoice changed. And if you click here in bold, also the same thing. The invoice shape changed. You can choose anyone you like from this invoice. And here in the background, we can choose blank or demo and custom. Demo logo. You can see here the logo of Odoo. And custom here to add and background from your files. If you click here in example, and here. Click here to delete. So we will choose blank. Also here to change the text type. Later Roberto, open sales, Monsterret, Oswald, Railway. You can choose anyone you like. And here you can add your logo to the invoice. You can see it here. And the color of the invoice, you can change it here from here. Like that. And here the address of our company. Algerian Leaders City. And here the tagline. If we write here for example Alexander the Great, we can see here these two texts added to the invoice, and here the footer. For example, this here. For example, our email or number phone in the footer. We can see it now here. 1 minute. And that's it. And here for the paper format, we can choose any format we want. US letter, or A4, or A4 label sheet, anyone you want. And here we can add the tax ID if we want to the invoice. And here our bank account number to add to the invoice. For example, this. And here if you want to add a QR code. So after that, click in continue. You can see here the barcode. And here we can see the file of the invoice. After that, go back here to invoice and click here, for example, insert. We have here two options, by email or by post. We will choose, for example, by email. Click here, write here the email of Alexander the Great. For example, this email, and click send email. And here the subject of the invoice. And here, and also auto created here in the message. And we can see here auto created this message automatically. We can modify the text here. You can change anything. For example, we can add our bank account. And here the invoice file, ready to download from the customer side when we send the invoices in the email. Finally, click here in send, and the customer will get the invoice in his email. Finally, now is payment time. We can see here this option, receipt to draft, to modify the invoice, but we have a note in this option. If we already send the invoice to the tax administration, we cannot reset the invoice to draft. So in this case, we can just do a reverse or a credit note. But if we didn't send yet to the tax administration or any other government administration, we can reset the invoice to draft. So guys, when the customer pay to us, we click here in pay. And we will choose the journal from example cash, and the payment method we choose manual payment, and the date and any note we want here in memo. But the customer didn't pay all the 100,000 from the 100,000. So we can see here now the payment difference is 400,000. 100,000 minus 60,000. We will see the gap is 400,000. We have two options here: keep open or mark as fully paid. We will choose keep open and click in create payment. Now we will see the invoice paid partial, and this is the payment here, 60,000. And we can see here there are still more 40,000 to collect from the customer. Also in the same time, here we see in customer payments. If we go here to customer payments, here, customers payments, we can see here the payment is in process. We must validate it, so go here, mark as sent. After that, before we collected the remaining amount, 40,000, we wanted to give the customer this account for 10,000, for example. In this case, we will go back to the invoice and click in pay. And for example, we choose cash, and the amount 40,000 minus 10,000, 30,000. And here, choose mark as fully paid. And now we must put the this account. If we click here this account, we will choose this account. Not here. This account. This account. And write here any description you want. And click in create payment. And now the payment finish and close it. Now we want to see where the money go. So guys, scroll down here, and we see here the first payment is 600, and the second payment is 40,000. But it's not 40,000. If we click here and go to view, we see here the amount is 30,000. Where the 10,000 go? If we click here in journal entries, we can see here the other 10,000 in this account. This account rebates and this account guaranteed, and the 30,000 here, outstanding receipt, and the client 40,000. Another note: if we in the vendor bill, not in the invoice, we will see the account 609, not 709. Now a new example: create a new invoice. Now guys, a new example: create a new invoice and choose a customer. For example, leaders. Company, and click and save, and modify here with the accounting, and modify here the account receivable, and go back to the invoice, and choose the invoice date and the due date, and click here in other line and choose a product, for example this product, and the price is 1 million, for example, and click confirm and pay, and we choose cash. and choose the payment method, manual payment, and the memo shows any notes or description you want, and click in create payment. So now we collected the amount from the customer, and now we want, for example, to give a discount to the customer. Click here in credit note, and choose the reason. For example, because here a loyal customer, and the journals, and the reverse date, and click here in reverse, and change the amount here, for example, to 400,000, and click here in confirm, and pay, and choose the journal, cash, and the amount 400,000, and the payment method, and etc., the payment date. And here we can see in the note reversal, it's mean a credit note. So click in create payment. So that's all guys, we send the money to the customer. Now we will explain the method of the payments. If we create here for example a new invoice, and choose a new customer, Hatem for example, create and edit, go to accounting and choose this, clients, okay, click save, and choose here the product, for example golden product, and here the suitable account, and here the price, for example 60,000, and the invoice date, for example 24, and click here save. And if we see here in other info, we can see here in the delivery date, you can choose this date, and here we can add our banking account to the customer. And if we go here to journal items, we can see here the double entries, sales and clients. The sales of merchandise is 60,000 debit, and the clients credit for 60,000. So guys, go back now here to invoice lines, and click here in payment terms. For example, we will choose this 30% now and balance in 60 days. We will see here in journals items. We will see here down in the second row, the first 30% of the payment, we receive it in this day. We will receive 30% of the amount in April 24, and the remaining amount after 2 months from now. Here, June 23, from April 24 to this date. We have 2 months. Now we will choose another payment method, for example here, 30 days. Click here save, and now we will see all the payment collected in May 24. You can choose any terms from here. And if we choose this, 27 net 30, and click here save, and click here, and click here in this account date and this account amount. So that's payment term means if the customer paid before 30 days from the invoice date, from this date, April 24, if he paid before 30 days from this invoice date, he will get a discount for 2%, and if he delayed, he will not get the discount. Now click in pay, confirm and pay. We can see here he have a discount for 20,000. So we will choose cash, and click in create payment, and go to payment, and here the journal entries, we will see the discount account here, and the outstanding receipt and the client. So that's it guys. The customer get his discount, and we collected our remaining amount. So see you in the next lecture guys. Thank you for watching. See you soon.